The chair across from Natasha Brooks stayed empty for 43 minutes. She knew because she checked her phone every 60 seconds, watching the time crawl forward like a wounded animal. The waiter had already circled back 3 times, his polite smile growing tighter with each pass. Other diners whispered and glanced her way. A woman in a red blazer actually pointed at her, then covered her mouth when their eyes met. Natasha wanted to disappear into the expensive leather booth. Her best friend Rochelle had insisted she try this blind date app, had even helped her pick out this purple dress from the clearance rack at Target. "Girl, you deserve happiness," Rochelle had said while applying Natasha's makeup that evening. "Imani deserves to see her mama smile." But now Natasha sat alone in Romano's, the nicest restaurant in downtown Chicago, feeling like the biggest fool in the world. The babysitter was costing her $20 an hour. Money she didn't have to waste. Her 6-year-old daughter Imani was probably already asleep, curled up with her stuffed elephant, waiting for mama to come home and tell her about the date. What would she say now? That the man never showed? That mama got all dressed up for nothing? Tears burned behind Natasha's eyes. She reached for her water glass with a shaking hand. This was it. This was her life. Working double shifts at County General Hospital, coming home too tired to be the mother Imani deserved, and apparently too broken for any man to want. The waiter approached again. "Miss, would you like to order?" Natasha's voice cracked. "I think I should just go." "Please don't." The voice came from her right. Natasha turned to see a man at the next table watching her with gentle brown eyes. He was handsome in a way that made her breath catch. His navy suit fit perfectly across broad shoulders, and his dark skin glowed in the restaurant's soft lighting. But it was his expression that stopped her. Kindness. Real kindness. "I'm sorry?" Natasha managed. He gestured to his own empty table, set for 2. "Your blind date didn't show up either?" Natasha blinked. Then she saw it. He'd been sitting alone too. His jaw was tight, his shoulders tense. He'd been stood up just like her. She didn't know what to say. He stood up, tall and graceful, and picked up his wine glass. "I'm Tyler Morrison. And I've been sitting here for 50 minutes feeling sorry for myself. But then I saw you and I thought maybe we're both having the worst night of our lives. Or maybe we could turn it into something different." Natasha stared at him. Was this really happening? "Would you have dinner with me?" Tyler asked. His smile was uncertain, almost shy. "I promise I'm not some creep. I'm just a guy who got stood up and doesn't want to eat alone. And I'm guessing you might feel the same way." Every instinct told Natasha to say no. To run. To protect herself from more disappointment. But something in his eyes stopped her. Something honest and hurting just like her. "Okay," she whispered. Tyler's smile grew genuine. He signaled the waiter, who looked relieved, and within minutes they'd pushed the tables together. Tyler sat across from her, and suddenly the empty chair didn't matter anymore. "So," Tyler said, pouring her a glass of wine from his bottle. "Want to hear about my terrible evening first, or should you go?" Natasha surprised herself by laughing. "You first. I need a minute." Tyler leaned back, his expression rueful. "My best friend Raymond set me up. Said he knew someone perfect for me. Professional, kind, looking for something real. I actually believed him. Got here 30 minutes early like an idiot. Kept checking my phone. Finally texted Raymond, and you know what he said?" "What?" "That she saw my picture, looked me up online, and decided I was too rich to be genuine." Tyler shook his head. "Apparently wealth makes you automatically fake." Natasha studied him. "You're really wealthy?" "Yeah." Tyler met her eyes steadily. "I own a tech company. Made some good choices early on. Does that bother you?" Natasha thought about her tiny apartment, the bills stuffed in her kitchen drawer, the way she counted pennies at the grocery store. "I'm a nurse at County General. I work 60 hours a week and still can't afford new shoes. I have a 6-year-old daughter and her father left before she was born. So no, your money doesn't bother me. But my life might bother you. Are you rooting for Natasha to find love? Do you think Tyler is genuine? Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and please subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. This is just the beginning of their story." Tyler's expression softened. "A daughter. What's her name?" "Imani." "That's beautiful. What does it mean?" "Faith." Natasha smiled despite herself. "I needed faith when I had her. Still need it every day." The waiter returned and they ordered. As the evening progressed, Natasha felt something shift inside her chest. Tyler asked real questions. He wanted to know about her work, her daughter, her dreams. He didn't talk over her or check his phone. When she mentioned how Imani loved to draw, he pulled out his own phone and showed her photos of art supplies. I collect art, he explained. Not as an investment but because it makes me happy. Creativity matters. They talked through appetizers and entrees. Tyler told her about losing his father 2 years ago, how the grief still caught him off guard sometimes. Natasha shared about her mother who raised her alone after her father died in a car accident when she was 12. Maybe that's why we both understand being stood up, Tyler said quietly. We know what it feels like to be left. Natasha nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. By the time dessert arrived, she'd forgotten this wasn't supposed to be her evening. Tyler was easy to talk to, easy to be around. He made her laugh with stories about his assistant Patricia, who apparently treated him like her son despite being only 5 years older. She brings me lunch every day, Tyler said. Homemade. She says I eat like a college student left alone too long. Smart woman, Natasha said. When the check came, Tyler didn't make a show of paying. He simply handed over his card while continuing their conversation about Imani's school. It was smooth, natural, like he did this every day. Which he probably did. Outside the restaurant, Chicago's night air was crisp and clear. Natasha pulled her thin jacket closer, and Tyler immediately shrugged off his suit jacket. Here, he said, draping it over her shoulders. I can't. Please. His eyes were warm. I had the worst evening planned and you turned it into the best night I've had in 2 years. Let me do this. Natasha accepted the jacket. It smelled like cologne and something uniquely him. Safe. Warm. Can I see you again? Tyler asked. Properly this time. A real date, not a rescue mission. Natasha hesitated. Imani. The babysitter. Her life that didn't fit with expensive suits and tech companies. But then she remembered his kindness. The way he'd listened. The way he'd been vulnerable about his own pain. Yes, she said. Tyler's smile could have lit up the whole street. Tomorrow? I know it's fast but I don't want to wait. I have work until 3. I'll pick you up. We can get coffee. Something simple. He pulled out his phone. Can I have your number? Natasha gave it to him and he called her immediately so she'd have his. There, he said. Now we're both not stood up anymore. Natasha laughed and Tyler stepped closer. Thank you, he said softly. For giving tonight a chance. For talking to a stranger. For being you. He called her a car, insisted on paying for it, and waited until she was safely inside before walking to his own vehicle. As the car pulled away, Natasha looked back. Tyler stood on the sidewalk watching her go and he waved. Natasha waved back, her heart doing something strange and wonderful in her chest. When she got home, the babysitter was half asleep on the couch. Natasha paid her, then crept into Imani's room. Her daughter slept peacefully, her brown curls spread across the pillow. Natasha kissed her forehead. Mama met someone tonight, she whispered. Someone kind. I don't know what happens next, baby girl. But maybe, just maybe, good things are coming. She went to bed wearing Tyler's jacket, and for the first time in years, Natasha Brooks felt something she'd almost forgotten. Hope. Natasha's shift at County General dragged. Every patient took longer than usual. Every medication order got delayed. She kept checking her phone, waiting for Tyler to text that he'd changed his mind. But at 2:45 his message came through, outside in 15 minutes. Can't wait to see you. Rochelle cornered her in the break room. Girl, you're glowing. Who is he? His name is Tyler, Natasha said, changing out of her scrubs. We met last night. The blind date. No. Different guy. Long story. Rochelle raised an eyebrow. You better tell me everything tomorrow. At exactly 3 o'clock, Natasha walked outside to find Tyler leaning against a sleek black car. He wore jeans and a blue button-down, looking somehow even better than he had in a suit. When he saw her, his face transformed. Hi, he said. Hi. They stood there smiling at each other like teenagers until Tyler laughed. Come on. There's a coffee shop I love nearby. The cafe was small and cozy, nothing fancy. Tyler ordered a regular coffee. Natasha did the same, touched that he hadn't chosen somewhere expensive to impress her. They sat by the window, knees almost touching under the tiny table. Tell me about Imani, Tyler said. What's she like? Natasha's whole face softened. She's everything. Smart, funny, stubborn as anything. She wants to be an artist when she grows up. Draws constantly. I have pictures covering every wall of our apartment. I'd love to see them sometime. Natasha's breath caught. You want to meet her? Only if you're comfortable with that, Tyler said quickly. I know it's early. But I don't want you to think I'm scared of the fact that you're a mother. Some guys are. I'm not. Kids are people too, and if she's important to you, I want to know her. Natasha felt tears prick her eyes. Dwayne, Imani's father, had run the moment she told him she was pregnant. Every guy since had ghosted her the second they learned about Imani. You're serious, she whispered. Completely. Tyler reached across the table and took her hand. His palm was warm and steady. Natasha, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't do casual. I tried that after my dad died and it felt empty. When I meet someone who makes me feel alive again, I pay attention. You make me feel alive. We just met. I know. But I also know what I feel. And I think you feel it too. Natasha did feel it. It terrified her. Saturday, she said. There's a park near my apartment. We could meet there. 2 o'clock. Imani and I go there most weekends. Tyler's smile was brilliant. Saturday. 2 o'clock. I'll be there. They talked for 2 more hours. Tyler told her about his company, how he'd started it in his garage with Raymond 7 years ago. It had grown beyond his wildest expectations. Now he employed over 200 people. The money still feels strange sometimes, he admitted. I grew up middle class. My parents worked hard for everything. Dad was a teacher, Mom was a librarian. They taught me that wealth doesn't define you. Character does. They sound wonderful. Dad was. Mom still is. Tyler's expression grew sad. Dad had a heart attack. Sudden. He was only 60. I keep thinking about all the things I should have said to him. Natasha squeezed his hand. I'm sure he knew. I hope so. When Tyler dropped her home, he walked her to her building's entrance. The contrast between his expensive car and her rundown apartment complex was jarring, but Tyler didn't seem to notice. Saturday, he said again. Saturday, Natasha agreed. He kissed her cheek, gentle and sweet, then waited until she was inside before leaving. Upstairs, Rochelle was watching Imani, who was drawing at the kitchen table. Mama? Imani jumped up and hugged her. Look what I made. The drawing showed 3 stick figures, one labeled Mama, one labeled Me, and one labeled Mystery Person. Who's the mystery person? Natasha asked, her heart squeezing. I don't know yet, Imani said seriously. But I think we're going to meet them soon. I can feel it. Rochelle met Natasha's eyes over Imani's head and mouthed, Tell me everything. That night, after Imani went to bed, Natasha told Rochelle about Tyler. About his kindness, his honesty, the way he wanted to meet Imani. He sounds too good to be true, Rochelle said carefully. I know. That's what scares me. But what if he's not? What if he's just good? Rochelle hugged her. Then you accept it, girl. You accept the good thing and hold on tight. Saturday arrived sunny and perfect. Natasha dressed Imani in her favorite red dress and braided her hair. She wore jeans and a green top, nothing fancy. Tyler had said he wanted to meet the real them. At exactly 2 o'clock, Tyler appeared at the park entrance. He carried a bag from an art supply store. Imani spotted him first. Mama, who's that? That's my friend Tyler, Natasha said, her heart pounding. He came to meet you. Tyler approached and knelt down to Imani's level. Hi Imani. I'm Tyler. Your mama told me you're an artist. I brought some supplies if that's okay. I thought we could draw together. Imani's eyes went huge. Really? Really? Within minutes, they were spread out on a park bench, drawing together. Tyler was terrible at it, which made Imani giggle. He asked her questions about her pictures, praised her creativity, and treated her like she mattered. Natasha watched them, her throat tight with emotion. After an hour, they walked to the playground. Tyler pushed Imani on the swings, his laughter mixing with hers. He caught her at the bottom of the slide. He sat with her in the sandbox and helped build an elaborate castle. You're good with her, Natasha said when Imani ran off to the monkey bars. She's easy to be good with, Tyler replied. She's amazing, Natasha. You've done an incredible job raising her. I had no choice. Her father left. His loss. Tyler's voice was fierce. His loss and my gain. Imani came running back. Tyler, can you come again? Please? Tyler looked at Natasha, asking permission. Yes, Natasha said. He can come again. Imani cheered and hugged Tyler around the waist. He hugged her back, careful and gentle, and Natasha felt her carefully constructed walls begin to crumble. Maybe this was real. Maybe good things did happen to people like her. Maybe, just maybe, everything was about to change. The letter came on a Tuesday morning, slipped under Natasha's apartment door while she was getting Imani ready for school. Notice of rent increase. Effective immediately. Natasha's hands shook as she read. $200 more per month. She didn't have $200 extra dollars. She barely made rent as it was. Mama, you okay? Imani asked, her backpack already on. Fine, baby. Natasha forced a smile. Come on or you'll be late. She dropped Imani at school, then drove to the hospital in a daze. How was she going to manage this? She already worked every shift they'd give her. There was nothing left to cut from her budget. Food. She already bought the cheapest options. Utilities? She kept the heat as low as Imani could tolerate. During her lunch break, she called the landlord. Mr. Peterson, I can't afford this increase. Then move. His voice was cold. I got 3 people waiting for that apartment at the new price. You got 30 days to decide. He hung up. Natasha sat in the break room, staring at her sandwich, unable to eat. Where would they go? Every apartment she could afford was in neighborhoods too dangerous for Imani. Moving meant changing schools, disrupting the one stable thing in her daughter's life. Her phone buzzed. Tyler. Dinner tonight? I'm cooking at my place. Both of you, obviously. Natasha stared at the message. She'd been seeing Tyler for 3 weeks now. They'd gone on 5 dates and he'd spent time with Imani 3 times. Each time had been wonderful. Each time had made Natasha fall a little harder. But she hadn't told him about her financial struggles. Hadn't wanted him to see her as a charity case. She typed back, can't tonight. Have some things to figure out. Tyler's response was immediate. Everything okay? Yes. Talk later. But Tyler knew her better than that already. At 5 o'clock, when Natasha picked up Imani from after-school care, Tyler was waiting in the parking lot. Tyler. Imani ran to him and he scooped her up. Hey little artist. How was school? Good. We learned about butterflies. Tyler set her down and looked at Natasha. Can we talk? Just for a few minutes? Natasha wanted to say no. Wanted to protect her pride. But his eyes were so concerned, so gentle, that she nodded. They sat on a bench while Imani played nearby. Natasha told him everything. The rent increase, the 30 days, the impossible choice between safety and affordability. Tyler listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Let me help, he finally said. Tyler, no. I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering. He turned to face her fully. Natasha, I care about you. I care about Imani. The thought of you two struggling keeps me up at night. I have the means to help and I want to. Please let me. I can't take your money. Why not? Natasha struggled to find words. Because it makes me feel like I'm using you. Because people will think that's why I'm with you. Because I need to stand on my own. Tyler took her hands. Listen to me. You're not using me. Anyone who thinks that doesn't matter. And you are standing on your own. You have been for 6 years. But sometimes life throws things at us we can't handle alone. There's no shame in accepting help. Tyler. I own a building downtown. Older place, but I've renovated all the units. Safe neighborhood, good schools nearby. There's a 2-bedroom available. Let me rent it to you at what you're paying now. Or better yet, let me give it to you. Consider it an investment in 2 people He paused. 2 people I care about very much. Natasha felt tears slip down her cheeks. Every instinct screamed to refuse. But she thought about Imani. About keeping her safe, keeping her in a good school. About the chance to stop drowning financially. I'll pay rent, she said firmly. The amount I pay now. Nothing free. I need to contribute. Okay. Tyler smiled. Deal. And if things don't work out between us, I find somewhere else. No strings. There won't be strings either way. But yes, agreed. Natasha wiped her tears. Why are you doing this? Tyler cupped her face gently. Because watching you struggle breaks my heart. Because Imani deserves security. Because I can help and I want to. Is that enough? It was more than enough. It was everything. Okay, Natasha whispered. Okay, yes. Thank you. Can we see it today? The apartment. Natasha nodded, unable to speak. The building was beautiful. Clean brick exterior, secure entrance, a small playground behind it. The apartment was on the 3rd floor, bright and spacious. Hardwood floors, updated kitchen, 2 real bedrooms with actual closets. Imani ran from room to room, squealing with joy. Mama, can I have the room with the blue walls? Please? Yes, baby. Tyler showed them everything. The washer and dryer in the unit. The storage space. The parking spot included with the apartment. There's a family on the 2nd floor with a daughter Imani's age, he said. Patricia told me they go to Riverside Elementary. That's my school. Imani jumped up and down. Natasha looked at Tyler. He'd thought of everything. Even researched the families in the building to make sure Imani would have friends. When can we move in? She asked. Whenever you want. I'll have a cleaning crew come through tomorrow, make sure everything's perfect. That evening, after Imani fell asleep on Tyler's couch, exhausted from excitement, Natasha and Tyler talked on his balcony. I don't know how to thank you, she said. You don't have to. Seeing you happy is thanks enough. No one's ever done anything like this for me. Tyler pulled her close. Then they were fools. You deserve everything good in this world, Natasha. Everything. She let herself lean into him, let herself believe that maybe accepting help wasn't weakness. Maybe it was just love. And maybe for the first time in her life she was truly loved. Moving day was chaos in the best possible way. Tyler showed up at Natasha's old apartment at 7 in the morning with a moving truck and 5 members of his company's IT team who'd volunteered to help. You brought a crew? Natasha asked, stunned. Did you think I'd make you pack alone? Tyler kissed her forehead. Come on, let's get you both settled in your new home. Imani was beside herself with excitement. She'd already packed her drawings in a special box labeled, Important Art, in purple crayon. The movers treated it with exaggerated care, making her giggle. By noon, everything was in the new apartment. The crew refused Natasha's attempts to pay them. Tyler already handled it. One of them, a woman named Beth, said. Besides, he talks about you all the time. We're just happy he's happy again. After everyone left, Natasha and Tyler spent the afternoon unpacking while Imani arranged her new room exactly how she wanted it. When Patricia arrived at 5 with enough Chinese food to feed an army, Natasha felt overwhelmed by the kindness. Tyler said you'd try to survive on crackers during the move, Patricia said, setting containers on the kitchen counter. I don't allow that. You don't have to. Patricia gave her a look. Honey, I've been taking care of that boy since his daddy died. Now I'm taking care of you too. That's just how it is. Natasha accepted the hug Patricia offered, blinking back tears. Over the next week, their lives settled into a new rhythm. Tyler came over every evening after work. Sometimes he brought dinner. Sometimes they cooked together while Imani did homework at the kitchen table. He helped Imani with math, patient and encouraging. He fixed the leaky faucet in the bathroom without being asked. He fit into their lives like he'd always been there. On Friday, Tyler's phone rang during dinner. He glanced at the screen and smiled. It's my mom. Do you mind if I take this? Of course not. Tyler answered, and Natasha heard a woman's warm voice through the speaker. Tyler, baby, how are you? Good, Mom. Really good. Tyler looked at Natasha. Actually, there's something I want to talk to you about. Someone I want you to meet. Natasha's eyes went wide. Someone? Tyler's mother's voice rose with excitement. Tyler Morrison, are you seeing someone? I am. Her name is Natasha, and she has a 6-year-old daughter named Imani. Mom, she's incredible. They're both incredible. Well, I want to meet them. Tomorrow. Lunch at my house. Don't you dare say no. Tyler looked at Natasha, questioning. She nodded, her heart pounding. We'll be there, Tyler said. Love you, Mom. After he hung up, Natasha gripped the edge of the table. Your mom wants to meet us already? She's been waiting for me to meet someone worth introducing, Tyler said. You're the first woman I've told her about since Dad died. That means something to her. It means something to me too. The next day they drove to Helen Morrison's house in the suburbs. It was a lovely brick home with flowers in the yard. Before they could knock, the door flew open. Helen Morrison was a beautiful woman with silver-streaked hair and Tyler's same warm eyes. She looked at Natasha and Imani and immediately smiled. Come in, come in. Oh, you must be Imani. Tyler told me you're an artist. I have an art studio in the back. Would you like to see it after lunch? Imani nodded enthusiastically, immediately comfortable. Helen hugged Natasha like they were old friends. Thank you for making my son smile again. I haven't seen him this happy in 2 years. Lunch was relaxed and comfortable. Helen asked Natasha about her work at the hospital and listened with genuine interest. She asked Imani about school and complimented her drawings. She told stories about Tyler as a child that made him groan and Imani giggle. He once tried to cook me breakfast in bed, Helen said. He was 8. Set off the smoke alarm and burned scrambled eggs so badly we had to throw out the pan. Mom, Tyler protested. I'm just being honest. Helen winked at Natasha. You should know what you're getting into. After lunch, Helen took Imani to see the art studio, leaving Tyler and Natasha alone in the living room. She loves you, Tyler said. She's wonderful. She is. Tyler pulled Natasha close. This is real for me, Natasha. I want you to know that. This isn't casual. You and Imani, you're becoming my family. Natasha rested her head on his shoulder. It's real for me too. I'm scared, but it's real. Scared of what? That I'll wake up and this will all be gone. That something will go wrong. That I'm not enough for someone like you. Tyler tilted her chin up. You're everything. Don't ever doubt that. When Helen and Imani returned, Imani was carrying a bag full of art supplies. Grandma Helen said I could have these? Imani announced. Natasha's breath caught. Grandma Helen. Imani had never had a grandmother before. Helen's eyes were misty. If that's okay with you, Natasha. It's more than okay, Natasha whispered. As they drove home, Imani chattered about all the supplies she'd gotten. Tyler held Natasha's hand, his thumb tracing circles on her palm. For the first time in 6 years, Natasha felt like they weren't alone anymore. They had people. They had support. They had love. That night, after Imani went to bed, Tyler stayed late. They sat on the couch, Natasha curled against his side. Thank you, she said softly. For everything. The apartment, your mother, the way you treat Imani. All of it. You don't have to thank me. I do. Because no one's ever cared like this before. Tyler kissed the top of her head. Then they were all fools. And I'm grateful for every single one of them because they led you to me. Natasha looked up at him. I think I'm falling in love with you. Tyler's smile was brilliant. Good. Because I'm already there. He kissed her then, sweet and gentle, and Natasha let herself fall completely. Let herself believe in happy endings and good men and love that stayed. For once, she didn't question it. She just held on. The call came at 2 a.m. Miss Brooks? This is Riverside Elementary. Your daughter Imani is running a high fever. We need you to come get her immediately. Natasha was out of bed and dressed in minutes. Imani had been at a sleepover with her friend Destiny from the 2nd floor. She'd been fine when Natasha dropped her off the evening before. Destiny's mother Kelly met her at the door, worry etched on her face. She started coughing around midnight. Then the fever spiked. I'm so sorry, I should have called sooner. Imani was curled on the couch, her small body shaking with chills. Her breathing sounded wrong, raspy and labored. Baby, Mama's here. Natasha scooped her up. Imani was burning hot. Mama, my chest hurts, Imani whimpered. Natasha's nurse training kicked in immediately. Fever, difficulty breathing, chest pain. Possible pneumonia. She needed to get Imani to the emergency room now. She texted Tyler while driving, Imani sick. Going to County General ER. His response was immediate, on my way. The ER was packed, but the triage nurse took one look at Imani and rushed them back. Within minutes, Imani was on oxygen, getting 4 fluids and antibiotics. The doctor confirmed Natasha's fears. Bacterial pneumonia. Pretty severe. We need to admit her. Natasha's world tilted. Admission meant bills. Huge bills. Her insurance through the hospital was basic, and the deductible alone would wipe out what little savings she had. Do whatever she needs, Natasha said. Please. They moved Imani to a pediatric room. She looked so small in the hospital bed, the oxygen mask covering half her face. Natasha held her hand, fighting panic. Tyler appeared in the doorway at 4 a.m, still in sweatpants and a t-shirt. He'd clearly thrown on whatever was closest and ran. How is she? Pneumonia. They admitted her. Tyler moved to Imani's other side, taking her free hand. Hey little artist, you're going to be okay. The doctors here are the best. Imani's eyes fluttered open. Tyler? You came? Of course I came. I'll always come when you need me. Over the next 3 days, Tyler barely left the hospital. He brought Natasha changes of clothes, real food, coffee. He sat with Imani when Natasha had to use the bathroom or make phone calls. He read her stories, helped her with coloring books, kept her spirits up. Patricia came by daily with food for both of them. Helen visited with flowers and more art supplies. Even Raymond showed up with a stuffed bear for Imani. Tyler talks about her constantly, Raymond told Natasha. Had to meet the girl who stole his heart. On the second night, when Imani was finally sleeping peacefully, Natasha broke down. The fear, the exhaustion, the crushing weight of the medical bills coming, all of it hit her at once. Tyler held her while she cried in the hallway. I can't afford this, she sobbed. The bills? I don't know what I'm going to do. You're not going to do anything, Tyler said firmly. I'm taking care of it. Tyler, no. It's too much. Natasha, listen to me. He cupped her face, making her look at him. I love you. I love Imani. You're my family now. And families take care of each other. Let me do this. Please. It could be tens of thousands of dollars. I don't care. Tyler. No. His voice was gentle but unyielding. I'm handling this. You focus on Imani. I'll handle everything else. Natasha was too tired to argue. Too scared to refuse. Okay. Thank you. The next morning, Tyler spoke with the hospital billing department and the insurance company. By afternoon, everything was resolved. Natasha didn't ask how much it cost. She just accepted his gift with tears and gratitude. Imani improved rapidly with the antibiotics. By day 4, she was sitting up, coloring, and demanding chicken nuggets. The doctor said they could go home the next day. That last night in the hospital, Tyler slept in the uncomfortable chair by Imani's bed. Natasha woke at 3 a.m. to find him awake, watching both of them. What are you thinking? She whispered. That I never want to be anywhere else, he said. That this, right here, is everything I've ever wanted. Natasha's throat tightened. You didn't sign up for sick kids and hospital stays. Yes, I did. The minute I asked to have dinner with you, I signed up for all of it. The good, the hard, everything. I love you, Natasha said. I'm scared to say it, but I do. I love you so much. Tyler moved to her chair and pulled her close. I love you too. Both of you. You're mine now, Natasha. Mine to protect, mine to care for, mine to love. If you'll have me. We'll have you, Natasha whispered against his chest. We'll definitely have you. When they brought Imani home the next day, Tyler carried her up to the apartment. He'd arranged for the place to be stocked with groceries, for fresh flowers on the table, for everything they'd need for the next week. Rest, he told Natasha. Both of you. I'll handle everything else. And he did. He brought meals. He entertained Imani with quiet activities while she recovered. He slept on their couch most nights, wanting to be close in case they needed him. By the end of the week, Imani was back to her energetic self, and Natasha realized something profound. Tyler wasn't going anywhere. This wasn't temporary. He'd proven himself in the crucible of crisis, and he'd passed every test. He was theirs. And they were his. Forever. Spring arrived in Chicago with unexpected warmth. Imani had fully recovered and was back at school, telling everyone about her adventure at the hospital. Tyler had become a fixture in their lives, so constant that Imani started asking when he was coming over on days he couldn't make it. One evening, Tyler arrived with an unusual request. There's a charity gala next month. My company is sponsoring it. I'd really like you to come with me, Natasha. Natasha looked up from the spaghetti she was stirring. A gala? Tyler, I don't have anything to wear to something like that. That's the easy part. He pulled out his phone and showed her a website. There's a boutique downtown. Patricia knows the owner. They can help you find something perfect. Tyler, those dresses probably cost more than my car. Let me buy you one. Please. I want to show you off. I want everyone to meet the woman who changed my life. Natasha hesitated, but Imani piped up from the table. Mama, you'd look so pretty in a fancy dress. Tyler grinned. See? Imani agrees with me. Fine, Natasha relented. But nothing too expensive. Tyler wisely didn't respond to that. The following Saturday, Patricia picked her up and took her to the boutique. The owner, a woman named Simone, greeted them warmly. Tyler called ahead. We've pulled several options for you. The dresses were stunning. Natasha tried on 5 before she found the one. It was a deep emerald green, elegant but not overly formal, with a fitted bodice and flowing skirt. When she stepped out of the dressing room, Patricia's eyes filled with tears. That's the one. You look absolutely beautiful. Natasha stared at herself in the mirror. She looked like someone from a magazine. Someone confident and sophisticated. Someone who belonged at a gala. I feel like Cinderella, she admitted. Then Tyler's your prince, Simone said. And honey, he's already smitten. I've known that boy for 3 years. Never seen him like this. The night of the gala, Helen came over to watch Imani. Tyler arrived in a sleek black suit, his expression transforming when he saw Natasha in the green dress. You're stunning, he breathed. Absolutely stunning. In the car, Natasha's nerves kicked in. What if I don't fit in? What if I say something wrong? Tyler took her hand. You'll fit in perfectly. And even if you didn't, I wouldn't care. You're the most genuine person in any room. That's what matters. The gala was held at a historic hotel downtown. The ballroom sparkled with chandeliers and elaborate decorations. Women in designer gowns and men in tuxedos filled the space. Natasha felt her confidence waver. But Tyler never left her side. He introduced her to everyone, his pride evident. This is Natasha Brooks. She's a nurse at County General and the most incredible woman I've ever met. People were kind. They asked about her work, genuinely interested. Several women complimented her dress. Tyler's business associates treated her with respect, not the condescension she'd feared. At their table, Natasha met Candace Porter, the COO of a major marketing firm. Candace was warm and funny, immediately putting Natasha at ease. Tyler hasn't stopped talking about you for months, Candace said. It's refreshing. He was so closed off after his father died. You've brought him back to life. He's done the same for me, Natasha admitted. During dinner, the charity presented its work helping underprivileged children access healthcare. Natasha found herself deeply moved. Tyler noticed and squeezed her hand under the table. This is important work, he murmured. Makes all the fancy stuff worth it. When dancing began, Tyler led her to the floor. Natasha had never waltzed before, but Tyler guided her patiently. You're a natural, he said. I'm stepping on your feet. Then I'll buy new shoes. He pulled her closer. Natasha, there's something I want to talk to you about. Her heart sped up. Okay. I know we've only been together a few months, but I've never been more certain of anything in my life. You and Imani, you're it for me. This is it. I wanted you to know that. Natasha felt tears prick her eyes. You're it for me too. Tyler smiled and kissed her forehead, and they danced through 2 more songs before returning to their table. Later, as the event wound down, Raymond approached with his date, a woman named Nicole. Natasha, it's good to see you again, Raymond said. This guy here has been impossible since he met you. In the best way. How so? Natasha asked. He smiles now. What? Shows up to work excited about life. You did that. Thank you. The ride home was quiet and comfortable. Tyler walked her to her apartment door, where they could hear Imani's laughter inside with Helen. Thank you for tonight, Natasha said. For including me in your world. It's our world now, Tyler corrected. Everything I have, everything I am, I want to share with you. He kissed her goodnight, tender and sweet, and Natasha went inside feeling like she was floating. The next morning, a delivery arrived. A huge bouquet of flowers and a card. Thank you for being the most beautiful, genuine, perfect date. Love always, Tyler. Imani danced around the flowers. Tyler sent these? He really loves you, Mama. Yeah, baby. He really does. Do you love him? So much. Imani hugged her tight. Good. I love him too. Can he be my daddy? Natasha's breath caught. Would you want that? Yes. He's nice and he plays with me and he makes you happy. That's what daddies do, right? Natasha wiped tears from her eyes. Yeah, baby. That's exactly what daddies do. That afternoon, she texted Tyler. Imani asked if you could be her daddy. His response came immediately. What did you say? I said I'd talk to you about it. Tell her yes. Tell her absolutely yes. Whenever she's ready, whenever you're ready, yes. Natasha held her phone to her chest, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what was happening. Her life was changing. Everything was changing. And for once, change felt like the most beautiful gift in the world. 2 weeks after the gala, on a quiet Sunday afternoon, Tyler suggested they take a drive. Helen had Imani for the day, giving them rare time alone together. They ended up at a small park overlooking Lake Michigan, the water stretching out like glass under the spring sun. Tyler spread a blanket on the grass and they sat together watching boats drift by. Can I tell you something? Tyler asked after a long comfortable silence. Always. He took a deep breath. I told you Raymond set up that blind date. The one where I met you. But I didn't tell you why I agreed to it. Natasha waited, sensing this was important. After my dad died, I kind of shut down, Tyler continued. I threw myself into work, avoided anything that felt too real. Raymond watched me disappear into myself for almost a year. Finally, he said if I didn't at least try to meet someone, he'd stage an intervention. Tyler laughed, but it was hollow. I thought he was being dramatic. But he was right. I was lonely. Not just alone, but truly lonely. So I agreed to the blind date. Didn't expect anything, honestly. Just figured I'd go through the motions to make Raymond happy. He turned to face Natasha. Then she didn't show up. And I was sitting there feeling sorry for myself. And then I saw you. And everything changed. Natasha's throat tightened. You changed my life too. Did you know Imani's father at all? Or did he leave before she was born? It was a question Tyler had never asked directly, respecting her boundaries. Natasha appreciated that he'd waited for her to be ready to share. His name was Dwayne Harris, she said quietly. We were together for about a year. I thought he was it, you know? Thought we'd get married, have a family. When I got pregnant, I was scared but also excited. I thought he'd be excited too. She picked at the blanket. Instead, he told me he wasn't ready to be a father. Said I should take care of it. When I said I was keeping the baby, he left. Just packed up his stuff one night while I was at work and disappeared. I tried calling, texting, nothing. His family said he moved to California. Wanted nothing to do with us. Tyler's jaw clenched. He abandoned you when you needed him most. Yeah. I was terrified. 26 years old, pregnant, alone. My mom had died the year before, so I didn't even have her for support. Rochelle was there and she helped as much as she could. But it was hard. Really hard. She smiled despite the pain in the memory. Then Imani was born and suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. She was everything. She still is. I worked 2 jobs those first few years. Rochelle watched Imani when I couldn't afford daycare. We made it work. You're the strongest person I've ever met, Tyler said softly. I didn't have a choice. You did. You chose to keep her. You chose to fight. You chose to build a life for her. Tyler cupped her face. Dwayne's loss is my gain. Every single day I'm grateful he was too stupid to see what he had. Because it means I get to be here now. I get to love you both. Natasha kissed him, pouring 6 years of loneliness and fear and hope into it. When they pulled apart, Tyler was smiling. There's something else I want to tell you. Okay. My dad, before he died, he told me something. We were at the hospital and he knew he wasn't going to make it. He held my hand and said, Tyler, don't waste your life. Don't let fear keep you from love. When you find the person who makes you whole, you hold on tight. Tyler's voice cracked. I didn't understand what he meant then. I thought I had time to figure it out. But now I do. You make me whole, Natasha. You and Imani. You're what he wanted me to find. Natasha was crying now, unable to stop. I wish I could have met him. He would have loved you. Would have loved Imani. Would have been the best grandfather. They sat in silence for a while, holding each other, sharing their griefs and joys in the way only people who truly understood each other could. Finally, Tyler spoke again. I want to ask you something. And you can say no. I'll understand completely. Natasha pulled back to look at him. What? Would you and Imani consider taking my last name? Not right away, but eventually. I want us to be a real family. I want everyone to know you're mine and I'm yours. Natasha's heart thundered. Are you asking what I think you're asking? Not yet. Not officially. But soon. I wanted you to know where my head is. Where my heart is. Tyler Morrison, Natasha said, testing the sound. Imani Morrison. Natasha Morrison, Tyler added, his eyes warm. I love the sound of that, she admitted. So that's a yes? Someday? Yes. Someday soon. Definitely yes. Tyler kissed her again and Natasha felt the last of her walls crumble. This was real. This was forever. This was the family she'd stopped believing she'd ever have. When they returned to Helen's house to pick up Imani, she ran to them immediately. Did you have fun? She asked. We did, Natasha said. How about you? Grandma Helen taught me how to bake cookies. Look. She held up a plastic container full of slightly misshapen but clearly made with love chocolate chip cookies. They're perfect, Tyler said, taking one and eating it with exaggerated enjoyment. Best cookie I've ever had. Imani beamed. Then she looked between Tyler and Natasha. You both look happy. Really happy. We are, baby, Natasha said. Because we're together, Tyler added, picking Imani up. All 3 of us. That's what makes me happy. Imani hugged his neck tight. Me too. As they drove home, Imani fell asleep in the back seat, worn out from her baking adventure. Tyler reached over and took Natasha's hand. This is everything, he said quietly. Right here. This is everything I've ever wanted. Natasha squeezed his hand. For me too. And she meant it. Every word. Every feeling. This was her everything too. The following months passed in a blur of happiness. Tyler became more integrated into their daily lives. He attended Imani's school art show and bought 3 of her pieces, proudly displaying them in his office. He taught her to ride a bike in the park, running alongside her until she found her balance. He made pancakes on Saturday mornings, always burning the first batch, making Imani giggle. Natasha fell deeper in love every day. She watched him with Imani and saw the father her daughter had always deserved. She watched him with his mother and employees and saw kindness and integrity. She looked at her own life and barely recognized it. Gone was the woman drowning in bills and exhaustion. In her place was someone hopeful, someone who believed in happiness. One Friday evening in early summer, Tyler arrived at their apartment with a mysterious smile. "Pack bags for the weekend," he announced. "All three of us. We're taking a trip." "What?" "Tyler, I have work on Monday." "Already covered. Patricia called your supervisor. You have Monday off." Natasha stared at him. "You can't just." "I can, and I did. Come on. Trust me." Imani was already running to her room to pack, thrilled by the adventure. 2 hours later they were driving north out of the city. Tyler wouldn't tell them where they were going, just smiled mysteriously and turned up the music. They arrived at a lakeside cabin as the sun began to set. The place was beautiful, nestled among pine trees with a dock stretching out into calm water. "Tyler, this is gorgeous," Natasha breathed. "Wait until you see inside." The cabin was cozy and perfect. 3 bedrooms, a fireplace, a kitchen stocked with food. Tyler showed Imani her room, which had been set up with art supplies and a view of the lake. "This is the best surprise ever," Imani declared. That weekend was magical. They hiked through the woods, Imani identifying birds and plants. They swam in the lake, Tyler teaching Imani to float on her back. They roasted marshmallows by a bonfire, Imani telling elaborate stories about the stars. On Sunday evening, Tyler suggested a walk. Just him and Natasha, while Imani stayed at the cabin with a movie. They walked to the end of the dock, the setting sun painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. The water lapped gently against the wooden posts. It was perfectly quiet, perfectly peaceful. "Natasha," Tyler began, turning to face her. His hands were shaking slightly. "I've been thinking about what to say for weeks. Wrote speeches, practiced in the mirror. But now that we're here, I realize I just need to be honest." He took her hands. "Before I met you, I was going through the motions of life. I was successful but empty. Then I saw you sitting alone in that restaurant, and something in me recognized something in you. I didn't know what it was then. But I know now. Do you think Tyler's about to change their lives forever? What would you do in Natasha's place? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to see how this beautiful love story unfolds." Tyler continued, his voice thick with emotion. "You showed me what it means to be brave. You raised Imani alone, worked yourself to exhaustion, never gave up. You taught me that real strength isn't about money or power. It's about showing up every single day even when you're terrified." Tears streamed down Natasha's face. "Tyler. Wait, let me finish." He smiled. "I fell in love with you that first night. But I fell in love with Imani the moment she showed me her drawings. I fell in love with both of you, with the family you'd built, with the love you showed each other. I want to be part of that. I want to be yours." Tyler knelt down on one knee, pulling a small velvet box from his pocket. "I asked Imani's permission yesterday. Told her I wanted to marry her mama and be her daddy for real. You know what she said?" Natasha shook her head, unable to speak. "She said, 'It's about time, Tyler. We've been waiting.'" He laughed through his own tears. "So Natasha Brooks, will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life loving you and Imani? Will you be my family?" "Yes," Natasha sobbed. "Yes, yes, absolutely yes." Tyler slid the ring onto her finger. It was beautiful but not overly large, elegant and perfect. Then he stood and kissed her, wrapping her in his arms while the sun set around them. When they pulled apart, they realized Imani was standing on the shore, watching them with Patricia and Helen beside her. "She said yes," Tyler shouted. Imani started jumping up and down. "Yes, yes, we're getting married." They all gathered on the dock, Helen crying and hugging Natasha, Patricia declaring she'd already started planning the wedding, Imani chattering about what color dress she wanted to wear as Flower Girl. That night, after Imani fell asleep, Tyler and Natasha sat on the porch, her hand in his, the ring catching the moonlight. "I can't believe this is real," Natasha whispered. "Believe it? You're stuck with me now." "Good. I don't want to be anywhere else." Tyler kissed her temple. "I promise you, Natasha. I will spend every day for the rest of our lives making sure you and Imani know how loved you are. That's my vow to you even before we say official vows." "I know," Natasha said. "I've known since you showed up at the hospital at 4 in the morning when Imani was sick. You're already the best father she could ask for. The best partner I could dream of." They sat in comfortable silence, listening to the lake water lap against the shore. Natasha thought about the woman she'd been a year ago. Alone, struggling, convinced she'd never find love. That woman seemed like a stranger now. "What are you thinking?" Tyler asked. That sometimes blind dates don't show up for a reason. So you can meet the person you're actually supposed to be with. Tyler laughed. Best thing that woman ever did for me was stand me up. Same, Natasha agreed. Same. They went inside eventually, but not before Tyler whispered one more promise into the quiet night. I'm going to make you the happiest wife in the world. And Natasha believed him. She believed every word. The engagement brought a whirlwind of activity. Helen insisted on helping plan the wedding, and Natasha gratefully accepted. Patricia appointed herself the unofficial coordinator, keeping everyone organized and on schedule. They decided on a 6-month engagement. Long enough to plan properly but short enough that neither of them had to wait too long. One evening, Tyler sat Natasha down with a serious expression. I want to legally adopt Imani, he said. After we're married. If that's okay with you. Natasha's eyes filled with tears. Really? Really? I want her to be my daughter in every way. I want to be there for every school event, every doctor's appointment, every milestone. I want her to have my name and my protection and my love, legally and officially. She'd love that. She already thinks of you as her dad. Then let's make it official. They told Imani together that weekend. Her reaction was pure joy. She threw herself at Tyler, hugging him tight. So you'll really be my daddy? For real? For real, little artist? Forever. What about my other daddy? The one who left? Natasha and Tyler exchanged glances. They discussed this conversation many times, preparing for it. Your birth father made choices that hurt, Natasha said carefully. But sometimes people aren't ready to be parents. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. I know, Imani said seriously. But I have Tyler now. He's better anyway. Tyler's eyes shimmered. I'm going to try to be the best dad possible. You already are, Imani said simply. Wedding planning progressed smoothly. They chose a garden venue, intimate and beautiful. Natasha found a simple white dress that made her feel elegant without being uncomfortable. Tyler picked a classic navy suit. Imani's flower girl dress was soft pink, her choice, and she practiced walking down the aisle every evening. Raymond agreed to be best man. Rochelle was maid of honor, thrilled to finally see her best friend happy. I told you good things were coming, Rochelle said during a dress fitting. You just had to believe. You were right, Natasha admitted. The rehearsal dinner was held at a nice restaurant downtown. Tyler's colleagues attended, along with close friends and family. Helen gave a speech that had everyone in tears. When my husband died, I worried Tyler would never recover, she said. He loved his father so much and the grief nearly broke him. But then he met Natasha and Imani. And slowly my son came back to life. Natasha, you saved him. You both did. Thank you for loving him, for letting him love you, for giving him the family he always wanted. Welcome to ours. Raymond's speech was more humorous, full of stories about Tyler's early days at the company. He once spent 48 hours straight coding because he was too stubborn to admit he needed help, Raymond said. But with Natasha he learned to ask, to accept, to let someone in. That's what real strength looks like. After dinner, Tyler pulled Natasha aside. I have something for you, he said, handing her a small box. Inside was a delicate gold necklace with a small pendant. When Natasha looked closer, she saw it was a tiny artist's palette. For Imani? She asked, confused. For you, Tyler corrected. Because you created a masterpiece. You raised an incredible human being while battling everything life threw at you. You're an artist too, Natasha. The best kind. Natasha couldn't speak through her tears. She just kissed him, pouring all her love and gratitude into it. The wedding day arrived sunny and perfect. Helen helped Natasha get ready while Patricia kept Imani entertained and calm. You look beautiful, Helen said, adjusting Natasha's veil. My son is the luckiest man in the world. I'm the lucky one. You're both lucky. That's what makes this so special. When it was time, Natasha walked down the aisle on Raymond's arm. He'd offered to give her away since her own father was gone, and she'd accepted gratefully. But her eyes were only on Tyler. He stood at the altar in his navy suit, his expression full of love and wonder. Beside him, Imani held a basket of flower petals, beaming with pride. The ceremony was simple and heartfelt. They wrote their own vows. Tyler went first. Natasha, you taught me that love isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up. It's about choosing someone every single day. I choose you today and I'll choose you every day for the rest of my life. You and Imani are my home, my heart, my everything. Natasha's voice shook as she spoke. Tyler, you saw me when I felt invisible. You loved Imani when others saw her as a burden. You gave us safety and stability and joy. But most of all, you gave us yourself. Your time, your patience, your beautiful heart. I promise to love you with everything I have, to support your dreams, to build this life together. You're my miracle." When the officiant pronounced them married, Tyler kissed her like they were the only two people in the world. Then he scooped up Imani and kissed her forehead. "We did it," he told her. "We're a family now." "We were always a family," Imani said. "Now it's just official." The reception was full of laughter and dancing. Tyler twirled Imani around the dance floor while Natasha watched, her heart so full it could burst. Later he danced with his mother, both of them crying happy tears. Natasha danced with Raymond, who told her how much Tyler had changed. "He's himself again," Raymond said. "Better than himself. You did that." "He did it for us too," Natasha replied. "That's what love does." As the evening wound down, Tyler and Natasha stood together watching their guests. "Happy?" he asked. "Beyond happy. I didn't know life could be like this." "It can be. It will be. Every single day." They left the reception in a shower of flower petals, Imani running alongside them to the car. They decided against a honeymoon, wanting to spend this time together as a new family. That night, in their apartment that was now truly theirs together, they tucked Imani into bed. "Best day ever," she announced. "Best day ever," Tyler agreed. After she fell asleep, Tyler and Natasha lay in bed, Natasha wearing the ring that now symbolized forever. "Mrs. Morrison," Tyler said, testing the name. "I love the sound of that," Natasha replied. "Me too. I really do." They fell asleep tangled together, beginning their first night as husband and wife, ready for whatever came next. Together. Always together. 6 months after the wedding, Natasha sat in her home office, reviewing applications for the Morrison Brooks Nursing Scholarship. Tyler had suggested they start the fund as a wedding gift to themselves, a way to help single mothers pursuing nursing degrees. The response had been overwhelming. "This one," Natasha said, handing Tyler an application. "Single mom, 3 kids, working full-time while taking classes. This is exactly who we want to help." Tyler read it and nodded. "Approved. Send her the full scholarship." They'd already awarded 5 scholarships, covering tuition, books, and childcare costs. Watching these women succeed felt like healing something broken inside Natasha. She was giving other women the help she desperately needed. Imani burst into the room, now 7 and even more vibrant than before. "Daddy, can we go to the park? Please?" Tyler looked at Natasha, who smiled and nodded. "Go ahead. I'll finish up here." Watching Tyler and Imani leave hand in hand, Natasha marveled at how naturally they'd fallen into their roles. The adoption had been finalized 2 months after the wedding. Imani Morrison. It made Natasha cry every time she saw it in writing. Her phone rang. Helen. "Hi, Mom," Natasha said. The words still felt wonderful. "Hi, sweetheart. I'm making dinner Sunday. Can you all come? I want to hear about the scholarship program. We'll be there." After they hung up, Natasha stood and walked to the window. She could see Tyler and Imani at the park across the street, Tyler pushing her on the swings. Imani's laughter drifted up, pure and joyful. This was her life now. A husband who adored her. A daughter who thrived. A family that supported them. Work that fulfilled her. Financial security that let her breathe. Sometimes she still couldn't believe it was real. That evening, as they ate dinner together, the 3 of them at their kitchen table, Tyler made an announcement. "I've been thinking about something," he said. "What would you both think about getting a dog?" Imani's eyes went huge. "Really? A real dog? A real dog? If Mama says yes." Natasha pretended to consider, but she was already smiling. "What kind of dog?" "I was thinking we could go to the shelter. Find one that needs us as much as we need them." "Like you found us?" Imani said seriously. Tyler reached across the table and took her hand. "Exactly like that." The following Saturday they went to the animal shelter. Imani fell in love with a medium-sized mutt with floppy ears and a wagging tail. "This one," she declared. "His name is Lucky." "Lucky Morrison," Tyler said. "I like it." They brought Lucky home and he immediately became part of the family. He slept at the foot of Imani's bed, followed Tyler around the apartment, and made Natasha laugh with his clumsy enthusiasm. One evening in November, Tyler suggested they return to Romano's, the restaurant where they'd met. "It's been almost 2 years," he said. "I want to go back. See where it all started." They got a babysitter for Imani and Helen volunteered immediately. At the restaurant, the manager recognized them. "Mr. Morrison. Ms. Brooks. Or should I say Mrs. Morrison now? He smiled warmly. I heard you two met here. Got married. That makes my heart so happy. Can we have our old tables? Tyler asked. Of course. They sat at the same two tables, pushed together just like that first night. Natasha looked around, remembering how lost she'd felt, how broken. What are you thinking? Tyler asked. That I was sitting right here, ready to give up on love completely. And then you asked if my blind date had stood me up too. Tyler reached across the table and took her hand. Best question I ever asked. Best answer I ever gave. They ordered the same meals they'd had that night. As they ate, they talked about everything and nothing. About Imani's latest art project. About the scholarship fund. About Tyler's company expanding. About their plans for Thanksgiving with Helen and Patricia. I want another baby, Natasha said suddenly. Tyler's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. Really? Really? Imani keeps asking for a sibling. And I want to have a baby with you. To create something that's ours together. Tyler's smile was radiant. I would love that. I would love that so much. So we're trying? We're definitely trying. They finished dinner in happy anticipation of this new chapter. As they left, Tyler paused outside the restaurant, in the same spot where they'd said goodnight that first evening. Thank you, he said. For what? For being brave enough to say yes when I asked you to have dinner. For trusting me with your heart. For letting me love Imani. For building this life with me. For everything. Natasha cupped his face. Thank you for seeing me when I felt invisible. For loving us both so completely. For being the man I didn't know to hope for. They kissed in the cool November air, surrounded by the sounds of the city, standing where their story began. You know what's amazing? Tyler said. That woman who stood me up, whoever she was, gave me the greatest gift. She gave me the chance to meet you. And my blind date who never showed gave me the same gift. We should send them thank you cards, Tyler joked. Natasha laughed. Or we could just live our best lives. Show them what they missed. I like that plan better. They drove home to relieve Helen, who reported that Imani and Lucky had been perfect angels. After Helen left, they tucked Imani into bed. I had the best day, she said sleepily. We drew pictures and Grandma Helen made cookies and Lucky learned a new trick. That does sound perfect, Natasha said, kissing her forehead. Every day is perfect now, Imani murmured. Because we're together. After she fell asleep, Tyler and Natasha stood in her doorway, Lucky curled at her feet. She's right, Tyler whispered. Every day is perfect. Even the hard ones? Especially the hard ones. Because we face them together. They went to their own room, to their own bed, to their own life that they'd built from the ashes of loneliness and fear. Natasha thought about the woman she'd been 2 years ago. Working herself to exhaustion. Convinced she'd be alone forever. Unable to imagine happiness beyond survival. That woman was still part of her. But she'd been transformed by love. By Tyler's steadfast presence. By his willingness to step into their lives and stay. By his love for Imani that never wavered. By the family they'd created together. What are you thinking? Tyler asked, pulling her close. That I'm the luckiest woman in the world. No, Tyler said. I'm the luckiest man. But we can both be lucky. That's allowed. Natasha smiled against his chest. Deal. Outside, Chicago sparkled with city lights. Inside, their little family slept safely. Lucky snored softly from Imani's room. The scholarship application sat on the desk, waiting to change more lives. This was everything. This was home. This was the happy ending Natasha had stopped believing in. Except it wasn't an ending at all. It was a beginning. The start of a lifetime of love and laughter and family. And it all started with a simple question from a stranger. Your blind date didn't show up either? The best question anyone had ever asked. The one that changed everything.